Haddad Images of Montreal presents a visit to the temple of Dendara or temple of Hathor. The only reason to visit the city of QUENA is to see the spectacular and well-preserved temple of Dendara or temple of Hathor. It is located 5 kilometers south of the city of QUENA. The temple is built facing the Nile at the very end of the pharaonic period. The temple was built on the site of earlier version on which the goddess Hathor was worshipped since the Old Kingdom. The great temple that dominates the site was begun in the 30th dynasty, with much of the building undertaken by the Ptolemies and completed during the Roman period. Its main building is intact, with great stone roof and column, dark chamber and underground crypts, all carved hieroglyphs. Hathor was the goddess of love and sensual pleasure, patron of music and dancing, and protector of the dead. Hathor was known by a range of titles, including the Golden One and the Lady of Drunkenness. She is represented as a woman, a cow, or a woman with headdress of cow's horns and sun disk between. The sun disk is to highlight her role as the daughter of the sun god Ra. She gave birth to her son from Horus at Dendera. Her son's name is Ihi Harsamtaut. Also, the Greeks associated Hathor with their goddess of beauty, Aphrodite. Mammisi is a Coptic word. It means in English the birth house. At the temple of Hathor there are 2 mammisi. We are going to visit the Roman mammisi, which is located near the temple wall. It is built by the Romans and decorated by their emperor Trajan, who ruled between 98 and 117 after Christ. The birthhouses were used as places to celebrate the divine birth, both for the young gods and Pharaoh himself, as son of the gods. As you may have noticed, the reliefs show the gods are withholding different baby kings in their hand. The ceiling is decorated with nice reliefs of the star. In the early Christianity in Egypt, the Copts were living in the temple, and they vandalized what they have called the pagan relief. Also, their cooking made the ceiling black. Here we can see the Emperor Trajan suckling from the goddess Hathor, so he is son of the god and legitimate pharaoh of Egypt. In the forecourt outside the temple, we find Greek column. Also a relief of the benign dwarf god whose name is Bes. He loves music and dancing. His grotesque appearance frightened away evil from the home. He protected women in childbirth. On the exterior walls of the temple, we find reliefs for the different crown shapes used by the pharaoh. The red crown of Upper Egypt, the white crown of Lower Egypt, and the red and white crowns for Upper and Lower Egypt. Also different crowns for different occasions. These reliefs are only to be found in the temple of Dendara. Outside the exterior wall, there are stairs leading to underground tunnel. The tunnel starts from the temple and ends by the river Nile. It is used to measure the level of the water's flood. The higher the water, the higher the tax. A kind of justice. At the exterior rear south wall, we find 3 lion-headed water spouts to collect the very occasional rainfall. Below the 3 lion-headed water spouts, there are scenes showing massive figure of Cleopatra VII with her husband Julius Caesar and their son Caesarion burning incense in front of Isis, Khnum, Osiris, and Horus. We knew Isis by her seat of the throne, because in hieroglyphs Isis means the seat of the throne. Walking back towards the front of the Hathor temple, on the west side we noticed the now palm-filled sacred lake, which provided water for the priestess ablution. This sacred lake is the best preserved of its type in all Egypt. Next to the north of the lake, there is a well with rock-cut steps leading down to give access to water for the daily use in the temple. To the north of the well lies the mud brick walls of the sanatorium, where the ill would seek a cure through the healing abilities of the goddess Hathor. It is the only one of its type known in association with an ancient Egyptian temple. The priests were the only persons allowed to stay in the temple, so they built for them dwellings on the outer wall. These outer walls were built to stay and to resist the water flood of the Nile. So they built the walls in small sections apart, as we can see it from outside the temple. On the main temple of Hathor, we are going to see the outer hypostyle hall, the inner hypostyle hall, the sanctuary, the bark shrine, shrine of Osiris, and the famous Dendara Zodiac. The outer hypostyle hall was built by the Roman Emperor Tiberius, who ruled between 14 and 37 before Christ. You will be greeted by the first 6 of its 24 great stone columns, each adorned on all 4 sides with Hathor's head. Although her features were vandalized in Christian time, they still present a most impressive sight. On the top of the facade, there is the sun disk of Ra with the wings of Horus, an amulet for protection. The ceiling is almost intact and almost retains its original color, and decorated with relief scenes of the sun's journey through the heavens. We saw the sky goddess Nut swallows the sun in the evening to give birth to it once again in dawn. Here we see the rays of the morning sun coming down on the face of the goddess Hathor. Next to the body of the goddess Nut, there are 18 boats, 9 on each side, which represents 18 weeks or 6 months, because in the ancient calendar, the month had 30 days and 3 weeks. Each week had 10 days, so 6 months each had 3 weeks, would be 18 weeks represented by 18 boats. Near the 18 boats, there are some zodiac signs. Here we can see the zodiac sign of the fish, and here the zodiac sign of the goat, and the zodiac sign of the Taurus. The zodiac signs were introduced by the Romans and adopted from Babylonia. The builder of the outer hypostyle hall did not leave any space without nice decoration.
The second part go about the myth of Osiris. Also see the only complete map we have for an ancient sky, the Dendara zodiac. Did the ancient Egyptians use a light bulb? Know the answer in the next part.